Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us at the table. I'm Craig, and we're going to be finishing our dice. This is a follow-up to our dice making video. So follow along with us as we finish our set of Emperor's Hobby dice. So first thing we do to finish our dice, we need dice. Pretty self-explanatory. And then to manually finish our dice, we're going to need sandpaper. There's two types of sandpaper you'll need. Zona paper, it's a specialty paper. It's really fine mesh, high grit. The other one is I like to use the circle ones. You can order them off Amazon, but this one starts at 2,000. I don't start sanding my dice anything below 2,000 just because it's going to take off a lot. So the thing about sanding with this is you always want to wet sand. So a cup of water. Normally I'll put 2 fingers in there. Get the sandpaper area that you're going to use nice and wet. Now, after the sandpaper is ready, we've gotten enough water on it that we can sand. You want to apply the same amount of pressure the whole time that you're sanding. You want to go in circular motions, and you normally don't do a time, you'll do a count. So you'll go clockwise, you'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you'll go counterclockwise the same amount. So then you don't get a certain pattern going on in there. And you'll do that. You'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you'll be done. And you'll be able to see, you'll be able to hear it. And then I'll dip the die in there. And then you go around and do each face of the die. D12, not bad. D10, not bad. D20 takes a little bit. Now I'll show you the Zona paper. Zona paper as well comes in different grit, and I cut them down into smaller pieces as well, instead of having a big sheet of sandpaper. So with Zona paper, it is especially important to find a very smooth, flat, level spot to do this. As you can see, this paper is extremely thin. You'll have one side that's generally pretty colored, and when you feel it, it feels almost like sandpaper. It's a little rough. The other side will feel almost cottony. It's important because you don't want to use the cotton side. You want to use the slightly rough side. And Zona paper is you always have to do wet. You can't do dry sand. You can't do dry sanding with this like you can the normal sandpaper. We'll dip the die in there, get the die wet, find our 2 face that we used before, and then we'll do the same thing we did with the sandpaper, but with the Zona. And I normally do a 3 to 5 times what I did on the sandpaper with the Zona, just because the Zona is going to get you that high, bright, sparkly, shiny finish. So as you can see, we still have that nice, beautiful shine. For those of you that don't want to spend 80 hours using your hands and doing that, and the Zona paper goes all the way up to 22,000 grit. So there's 2 ways to speed up sanding. The first way, you can actually use a small potter's wheel. You can put your sandpaper on there. Some people will tape it on. I've seen some people glue it on. The benefit to the potter wheel is you can actually set the speed so it turns for you. So then all you're doing is holding it still and the paper's moving. You can see where that would be an advantage to, instead of holding it and just spinning it like this. Other one that you can do is a vibrating tumbler, which is a little bit of an investment, but it will save you in the long run. Our vibrating tumbler. This will save you a lot of time in the long run, as long as you are not in an apartment. If you are in an apartment building, invest in heavy blankets and soundproofing. These things are loud. I think it is louder and more annoying than a traditional rock tumbler. But, so, we take off the lid. As you can see, lots of tiny ceramic beads. There's about 10 pounds in here. Normally, when your dice are ready to go, drop them in. You'll put the lid on, and you'll turn it on. And the bead will move in like a circular motion. I leave these in here for 2 days straight. much to my family's dismay. So you can throw, I think the most I've thrown into here is 8 full sets of D&D dice. If you don't want to have too many, because then they're butting into each other and they'll end up messing up their faces. You also want to make sure your dice are fully cured. I've put some in here before that weren't, and the little bead faces hitting it had a dimpling effect. You just put you put a little bit of polishing compound. I use Plastex, or even if you go to Lowe's, Home Depot, Ace, or any of those, you can pick up like the polishing compound for headlights. Works really well as well. Vibrating tumbler, awesome. Set it and forget it. Now that our dice have come out of the polisher, thanks to Entertainment Magic, probably the greatest magic of all, what do we do with them now? Well, we gotta put in ink into the numbers. Unless you're my wife and she says they look better without ink. I think she's crazy, but that's me. The paint I normally use is, I will get acrylic paint from one of the big craft stores. I like it because I can get a lot for like $2, as opposed to if I use like miniature paint, there's a big difference. I try not to use metallic or ones that have like a sheen to them. It makes the cleanup sometimes rough. Now they look great. If you've checked out my Instagram and stuff, you've seen I've done like metallic inks in them. There's an extra cleanup you have to do with those. Otherwise, you'll get like glitz and shimmer on them that you might not want. So for today, we're going to use just a plain old white. It works. It'll be a nice contrast. The numbers will stick out and the colors will also pop. I'll show you how I do it. Squirt out your white into your whatever you're using. I'm using a little paint thingy here. Normally at home, I'll use a pop socket, but you're just going to put some on your paintbrush and then just slap it on there like so. You don't have to be that exact on these, because you just go over, and I'll wipe it with my hand. My fingertips generally will be pretty covered when I'm done, but it cleans up nice. I wouldn't use a rag, to like a washcloth or like a microfiber rag, to wipe off, because that will actually get into the grooves and take the paint out. Is after the paint is fully dried, I'll normally give it a once over and just take off any fingerprints I got on there, or give it kind of like a little buff. It'll bring the shine back up. But if you do go the route of using metallic, like any of the metal acrylics like these, I have quite a few, and you don't want that metallic glimmer to it, wait till it's dry, and then use one of the high grit Zona papers, and just take your time on the D20s, because you can smudge one face with paint from another. Sometimes I'll even do like half of it, wait, set it down, wait a little bit, come back, and then do the other half, because the first half is dry. We have finished a set of dice today. We took everything from sanding to painting, hit some polishing in the middle there. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please throw them in the comments. Love hearing from you guys. Even throw like a picture in there if you've made dice along with us. I'd love to see them. We're actually going to be giving away this set that we made, this set of Emperor's Hobby dice that we made along with you all. In a week's time, we'll pick somebody from the comments to send a free set to. If you'd like to get a set of your own, or see any of the other sets that we've done, we have a shop, shop.emperorshobby.com. Links in the doobly-doo. Check us out. Get a set of dice and roll them hot, I hope. Until next time when we see you at the table.